Welcome to Fixer Motivation. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. When anger rises, think of the consequences. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. When it is obvious that goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, but adjust the action steps. Respect yourself and others will respect you. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. Life is really simple, but men insist on making it complicated. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. The man who does not know what he wants will never get it. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. The wise are not learned, the learned are not wise. The faults of a superior person are like the sun and moon. They have their faults, and everyone sees them. They change, and everyone looks up to them. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. To be able to practice 5 things everywhere under heaven constitutes perfect virtue: gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. The noble-minded are calm and steady. Little people are forever fussing and fretting. If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The essence of knowledge is having it, to apply it, not having it, to confess your ignorance. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the mean man seeks is in others. A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. A true gentleman is one who has set his heart upon the way. A fellow who is ashamed merely of shabby clothing or modest meals is not even worth conversing with. To be poor without murmuring is difficult. To be rich without being proud is easy. By 3 methods, we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. In a hamlet of 10 households, there are bound to be those who are my equal in terms of virtue, who can be a model for me in various ways. Why should I single-mindedly seek out and focus on one outstanding individual to be my teacher? The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. To see what is right and not do it is cowardice. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. Study the past if you would divine the future. Do not be desirous of having things done quickly. Do not look at small advantages. Desire to have things done quickly prevents their being done thoroughly. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it, this is knowledge. Forget injuries, never forget kindnesses. A wise man learns more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. He who will not economize will have to agonize. To love a thing means wanting it to live. The perfecting of oneself is the fundamental base of all progress and all moral development. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Worry not that no one knows you. Seek to be worth knowing. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. They must often change who would be constant in happiness or wisdom. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. A superior man in dealing with the world is not for anything or against anything. He follows righteousness as the standard. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart,